In one, a place in the final.
Yeah. Okie dokie. It is now time for the finals, and the first race up, once an errant nose cone has been retrieved, will be Honda Cadet. 34 of them in total. What a grid we have, and we probably only have 33. Archie, can you see the S plate of Archie Cannon?
There is no distinct green helmet. I don't think we're going to see Archie Cannon today, unfortunately.
But he, hopefully he is okay. That scary incident earlier on. Here is your starting lineup. Luke McGall and Elliot Bourke will share row 1. Sawyer Henderson and Arthur Murfitt will share row 2.
Jack White starts in P5 alongside Shaylan Srikantan, Dino Rowlands and Archie Loveridge, who suffered a bent rear axle and hence his retirement in the second of the Super Heat, starts in P8.
Oliver Ratton and Mason Becker will round out your top 10, and Bradley Sutton and the British O-Plate champion Ronnie Jones.
Then it should have been Archie Cannon off P13. I don't think he's going to be there, and that place will be left vacant. Daniel Barton, and then Jan Prakash and Theo Hamilton on row 8.
Finley Thursfield and Ollie Knox will share row number 9. And the top 20 rounding out by Sam Dixon and Arthur Roberts.
Then it's going to be Luke Jardine and Riley Blakemore with Jerry Dufficy and Ben Bowers on row 12.
Reggie Dufficy and Ethan Pearson on row 13. Matty Horsepool and Jensen Fathers are on row number 14.
Your grid completed then by Seth Wright and Harry Search, Joshua Adote and Marcel Markovic, with Max Mikalski and Arthur Bath completing your Honda Cadet final grid.
So we wait for the flag signal to be given. There it is, green flag up at the rear of the grid. The lights go on. The lights go out. We're off and racing. It's a good start from Elliot Bourke on the outside of row number 1, who tries to cut across and squeeze the poleman Luke McGall. He has done so. And Bourke leads McGall onto the bowl. Everybody else siphoning through behind them. I think that's Jensen Fathers at the back of the field in that yellow and black liveried machine. And we head down to hairpin number 1.
Elliot Bourke leads with a great start off the outside of the front row on Luke McGall, who qualified on pole position in terms of points by a massive margin in this Honda Cadet grid, but he's going to have to work now to get past Elliot Bourke. They've got Sawyer Henderson in that bright pink helmet going with them as well. Arthur Murfitt, as Henderson goes wide. Murfitt will slide the 88 not only down the inside, but tries to get past McGall as well. And Jack White in the 13 for the first time this weekend emerges inside the top 5.
Now, the driver in 5th position with a pink crash helmet, Sawyer Henderson. This is uncharted territory now for Sawyer. He is in the top 5 in the final. His best result so far this year is a 17th place finish at the opening round. Anything above that is a success. Now, obviously, he wants, he's been in uncharted waters for him. He's running in the top 5. Don't lose your head now. Anywhere in the top 10 is still a brilliant race result for you, Sawyer. Often you see that happen where all the hard work a driver puts in goes to naught in the final. So Sawyer has got to be very careful because, it's the longest race of the weekend. And there's Ronnie Jones, complete with his new Martin Jackson racing race suit, MJR liveried race suit, there in 8th position. And, of course, Archie Loveridge, who's going to be recovering from that bent axle. The two top drivers in the point standings, Archie Cannon, obviously not racing. He can use this as his drop round, however. And the second place driver is Riley Blakemore, who has been pretty anonymous, I have to say, this weekend.
Tough day yesterday in qualifying, and that sort of transferred into the heats as well, where he had a retirement in one of those. Started well down the order compared to where he'd have expected to have been this weekend, and hasn't really made the progress in either of the super heats today, and still finds himself outside of the top 15. Was 16th when they crossed the timing line at the end of the previous lap, so certainly one to forget unless he can pull some magic out of the bag with 9 minutes to go. Archie Loveridge, though, is starting to try and make amends for what happened in the second of the two super heats. He's up into 4th place. The driver of the 73 can smell a victory, and there's plenty of time for him to reel in Murphy, McGall and Bork in front.
And of course, the 8 leaders have pulled away. This is good news for Sawyer Henderson. And it also for Shailen Shrikanthan, because Shailen's only got his best finish is a 14th. He's the last driver in the lead group, just behind Sawyer Henderson, the driver with the bright green coloured crash helmet. This is great for them. They can just now sit at the back of this group, push and work with the leaders, because no matter what happens, even if they finish at the back of this pack, they're still miles in front of anything they've achieved previously this season. Obviously, Jones, Wykes, Loveridge, Murphy, Bork and McGall, they're used to battling at this position. They're all fighting in amongst the top 9 or 10 in the point standings. They've got one set of goals in mind. For Henderson and Shrikanthan, they've got a different set of goals. This is just still self-improvement.
You've got to prove to yourself you can do it. If you can do it once, you can do it again and again. It's a confidence game at this level of racing for some of these younger drivers.
But you've got to do it once to get there.
Yes,
you've got
to
finish the job once. And that's what they're trying to do.
You don't want to look back at a day that could have been.
Yes, could have, would have, should have. As we head off the top 3 now, really nose to tail. As I say that, though, they break clear. And here comes Archie Loveridge. Loveridge side by side with Elliot Bork, and Bork squeezes over. And look at Bork saying, tapping his helmet, saying, no, let's work together. Long time to go yet, Archie.
Behind them, that's Arthur Murphy getting back down the inside of Jack Wykes, who'd got up into 4th place in a move inside the bowl. It has opened the gap up to Elliot Bork, who leads this race from Luke McGall and Archie Loveridge. And now I think Loveridge is going to have to try and push McGall for a lap to try and close back in on Elliot Bork. And then wide goes Luke McGall. He's not going to need to push. The place handed over. We're by Archie Loveridge, and he's up into 2nd place. Loveridge from 8th to 2nd, and still 6.5 minutes and 1 lap on the clock.
So, question, David. You can see that Bork last time was not wonderfully happy with Loveridge, saying, come on, think. Now that he's actually behind, he's got no choice. He may not be happy with Archie, but he's got no choice. He has to push Archie up towards the leader. But Archie seems to have a set of legs under him. Look at that. Already, the 73 kart is sitting on Bork's rear bumper. Luke McGall, rather, has to try and work with Loveridge, although Loveridge is to the inside, and there's no stopping Archie Loveridge at the moment. New leader.
8th to 1st in 5.5 laps for Archie Loveridge. And the driver of the 73, who's been inside the top 2 for most of this race weekend before his issues in Super Heat 2, is certainly driving like a driver that wants to right some wrongs.
Yes, indeed. At the back of this pack, Wykes is 5th, Jones 6th, Henderson 7th, Shrikanthan in 8th. Shailen Shrikanthan is beginning to drop off the back of this lead pack. This next run down the start-finish straight is very, very important for the driver at the back of this group. He's got to try and somehow stay in the slipstream of the leaders, because if he gets dropped and he's all on his own, you can see you've got in 9th and 10th position Ollie Knox and Mason Becker. They're working together. They will close in on any kart running solo. In fact, Knox and Becker have got Oliver Ratton as well in with them. So there's 3 karts working together. So Srikantan has got to now drive the wheels off that kart for the next lap or 2 to stay in the slipstream. Yellow lights waving underneath the bridge. Somebody has parked on the banking. I can see the driver.
Project 1.
It's standing next and now walking away and running up the banking. Pretty disgruntled, but A-OK.
Could be Mason Becker, potentially, as he was in a Project 1 suit.
Oh, now Becker was in 10th along with Ollie Knox.
I'll confirm.
Let's see.
He'd already picked up a penalty, had Mason Becker in the 52, a 5-second penalty. No, he's crossed the timing line. So it's Riley Blakemore. His weekend goes from worse to
abominable.
Yeah.
Absolutely shocking weekend, sadly, for the championship run-up. Well, so it's fair to say that both the top 2 in the point standings coming into this weekend will be using this round as their drop round. The doors are opening for Loveridge, for McGall, and for Elliot Bourke. And it just so happens that the drivers who are 3rd, 4th and 5th in the championship are running 1, 2 and 3 in this race.
McGall under all sorts of pressure here from the 88 of Murphy. Jack White's in the 13, Ronnie Jones in the O-plate, and then Sawyer Henderson. Srikantan a few kart lengths back, can't go with them at the moment, but it's close enough for when, and I do say when, not if, they start battling over that 3rd place. The 2 leaders, though, are working together in order to try and open up sufficient gap that they can squabble, and Murphy is down the inside of Luke McGall. Side pod to side pod, Murphy is through for 3rd place.
He's learnt very quickly, as Arthur Murphy, from being in 3rd and fading during the first superheat. Oh no, McGall. Luke McGall's head has gone off somewhere, and that drops him to 8th place. So now McGall, who's 5th in the point standings, he drops to 8th. And look at what Sawyer Henderson is doing. Pushing Ronnie Jones, pushing Jack Wykes. These 3 drivers on your screen here are being very, very sensible. They're keeping their powder dry, as it were, for the final 2 minutes of mayhem, which I am sure will begin, well, when there's 2 minutes to go, which is just about now.
Can McGall, at the very least, try and close back up? The leading duo, though, still on a bit of a mission to try and open up sufficient gap back to those behind before they start their inevitable squabble over the top step of the podium.
I think these 2 have now got it between themselves because, Wykes, Murfitt, Jones and Henderson, they were looking as though they're already squabbling a little bit.
Wykes up into 3rd.
Yep, and Jones now side by side with Murphy. Henderson doesn't know where to go. Srikantan still hanging in there. This is going to bring Shailen Srikantan back up into play. He's 7th at the moment. McGall is 8th. Becker and Knox round out your top 10. But it's going to be a head-to-head fight. Loveridge v. Bourke for the win. Murfitt v. Wykes v. Jones v. Henderson v. Srikantan for the final podium position.
Minute on the clock, so we're going to have 2 laps to go in Honda Cadet. The first final of the day. Archie Loveridge being hounded by Elliot Bourke, but Bourke keeping his powder dry thus far. Hasn't shown his hand to Archie Loveridge. And Loveridge, to be fair, hasn't defended that lead too much. I think he knows that Elliot Bourke is going to make the move, but he's not going to make the move until Archie Loveridge gives him that opportunity. And Loveridge, again, not defending. I would have expected him to migrate to the inside with the time on the clock. But at this moment, Elliot Bourke, like I say, he's keeping the powder dry and not showing his hand to Archie Loveridge. The time, though, will come.
The first time I commentated on Archie Loveridge was in a different championship, and he was driving an electric kart, not a Mighty Bambino, a different type of electric vehicle, and he won the race by half a minute. Should he win this race, he'll be lucky if he wins it by half a second, because Elliot Bourke is sticking to him like glue. The clock has struck 0, The blue flag is it. The last lap board doesn't go out. Oh, the last lap board is out on the screen. Sorry, so they will have seen the last lap board on the screen. Here we go.
Loveridge, the door's open.
He leaves the door open. There's traffic side by side, and they're closing in on the number 24 cart. Oh, here we go. Arthur Bath has got to get out of the way. Loveridge still has the lead, and Arthur Bath needs to just... Oh, that's right, Arthur, just tuck him behind. Loveridge still has it.
Loveridge, who thought I was going to get boxed in then by Arthur Bath. Can Elliot Bourke do a little bit of a switchback? Archie Loveridge parking the car on the inside. Elliot Bourke not close enough as they head up towards the Fullerton Esses. He's going to close up on exit because Loveridge will come to the inside. Squeezes back. Bourke's going to be on the outside, though he's not close enough, and rails the curb on the outside. I think the chance has gone.
It has indeed. The third place battle is trying to get past Arthur Bath in the final complex, but it's going to be 2 wins in a row for Archie Loveridge, despite the best efforts from Elliot Bourke, and Arthur Murfitt eventually comes across the line, and in third, Jack White's fourth. What a weekend for Sawyer Henderson. P5 for Henderson. 6th for Ronnie Jones. 7th for Shailen Srikantan. 8th for Ollie Knox. 8th for Luke McGall. And 9th, ecstatic once again for his best finish of the season. His equal best finish of the season. Ollie Knox in 9th. Oliver Ratton rounding out the top 10.